Welcome back, everybody, to Superman and Lois TV Talk. This is our episode, our second episode, as it is, for the Superman and Lois episodes, Closer and Uncontrollable Forces. I'm Derek.
I'm Tucker.
Tucker, I was thinking about this a minute ago. Welcome, by the way.
Welcome.
Glad you could join us here at the Buddy Epson Society.
That's right.
And kudos to anybody that got that reference.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know you've been on a few times, like guested with. What? No, I mean like recently, like on this guested with us. But I was thinking tonight, I don't think you and I have done something recorded properly in.
This is going to hurt.
A decade.
Yeah.
If you're new to the show, or this is your first time listening, Tucker and I started Starkville's House of L way back before some of you might have been born in 2005.
Yeah, the dawn of podcasting.
Yeah, before podcasting was called podcasting, way back in 2005 on a little show called Smallville. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited to be talking about Superman and Lois with you tonight. So it's
absolutely
like old home week. Robin and Frank did a fantastic job of covering, doing the play-by-play of the first two episodes. I was unavailable to record because if you've been watching the news, we've had some hellacious tornadoes over the course of several days in the past week, and I didn't have internet for several days, so let them go on without me. And then I thought I didn't want to retread when we recorded episode 3 for In Cold Blood. I didn't want to have to spend time retreading on my thoughts
right
for the first two, and I thought, who better to discuss with than you?
I can only think of 7 or 8 more people, but I was the one that was available.
Well, I went down the list. And, and once I got through Portugal, I was like, I guess I'll last Tucker. So I'm glad to be doing this. So I thought maybe we would just approach that. Like I said, they did, the general play-by-play. I thought we'd kind of talk about where our characters are this season and where we think they might be headed as a result.
I felt like as I was watching the first episode, just in the first maybe 5 minutes, like it was not the amount of time that they had said that they were going forward, but I felt like years had passed, not just in how long it had been since the show had been on, but so much seemed to have settled and new rhythms and things, not really forced, but just it seemed like you blinked your eyes and a lot more seemed just copacetic and normal.
I mean, Jonathan just grew up on us. He looks,
oh man,
I can't believe how much he's aged. And
at that age,
27, it changed daily.
it just you can't take your eye off the ball.
And that's a good place to start because that's right in the opening scene. One thing I love about the show that I've really enjoyed, and I know a couple of other characters have done it, but one constant has been Lois's voiceovers. Mm-hmm. And more often than not, they're her writing a story and just, for the paper, and we're getting to listen to her, but her inner monologue narrating, and I thoroughly enjoy that. Mm-hmm. The whole lot. But we find out it's been 27 days since the world almost ended, and that is as much time as we're going to spend talking about season 2. Apparently, we don't have to retread that at all.
just a clean sweep right under the rug, and man, nobody's having. You would think a lot of trauma counselors and things would have been opening shop in Smallville, but
I mean, especially after season 1 and then yes, obviously season 2, I watched via Apple TV, so I can't speak to the CW airing, but there wasn't even a previously on the digital.
Now that I think about it, I don't recall.
They didn't want you to remember anything that happened.
No, there was one, I think maybe like 30 seconds long, because they had to show, them going out to create the new fortress. So it was really just a tiny, tiny little bit.
The new fortress that's for everybody, but completely inaccessible.
Yes, but one needs to. Okay, so it's for everybody, but there's only two people that can get there.
Specifically, no, I did it for everybody.
Yeah, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
Come whenever you want.
I bought the pool table for everybody. I know you guys don't care about it, but I'm going to use it, and you're welcome to if you want to, but it's not for everybody. Completely inaccessible. God knows where it is. I think Robin made a joke on the podcast that the Crater Lake was vast and wide these days.
Yes.
That's where it is.
Undisclosed.
It's in an ocean somewhere. They took a boat out, I guess.
But isn't Metropolis supposed to be a harbor city?
Yeah, I think at least in more recent incarnations, it has been, like the Bay Area kind of thing. But we do get an inside look at this fortress, and the shot of the family, or new family, as it were, because we do, of course, have a new actor playing Jonathan that has joined us after the departure of Jordan Elsass. And excited to see what this Jonathan brings to the table. I wonder, just watching the episode, and obviously I think that the decision on Jordan to depart probably came a little late into the third season, into pre-production of the third season. I feel like writing was already probably underway.
Oh yeah,
I could go back and compare dates, and I probably should, but I haven't. But all that to say, Michael Bishop joining the cast. I feel like maybe it came in late, and that's why he just didn't have a whole lot to do in this premiere.
Yeah, I think that. Did he even have more than 5 lines in that episode? It wasn't too much. They did give him more screen time
in the second one.
Yeah.
And I wonder, and I think that was, they had more time to bring him in.
Yeah.
In that. And I think I wonder, I don't know this for sure, but I just wonder if writing was already happening, Jordan departed, they cast Michael, and just in all those moving parts, they had to downplay Jonathan's part just a little bit, just in case of what might happen. But there is, we do find out here at the fortress that Clark has rebuilt, that Laura is now the keeper of the fortress instead of Jor-El, which is something I clamored for all last season. I was like, her chip is right there. I don't understand why we're not, her stone, her crystal, whatever. I don't understand why we're not automatically utilizing her in the previous fortress. I don't know why we built the new fortress. For everyone, but not really.
Yes. Seems like
you all can't go to the Arctic, so here it is in the middle of the Indian.
Yeah. The Arctic's a little too inaccessible, so the center of the Pacific would be better.
It couldn't be that far out because that boat they were on was not.
Yeah, no, there's. Yeah.
But so I was happy to see that they were utilizing Laura. I think that makes for some good differences than what we've had in the Superman mythos previously, because how often do we get one-on-one with Laura?
Yeah, and if you think about you only had Jor-El in Superman the movie
and Donner cut,
and you pretty much only had him whenever you saw him in Lois and Clark, almost exclusively in Smallville.
Yeah, except for when Helen Slater came along, and there wasn't a whole lot of. There was one episode, and then maybe one hologram, 2 with her and Julian Sands, who I hate to say, sadly, it appears we have lost. I've not heard an update in a while about that.
I haven't either.
Julian Sands, who played Jor-El in Smallville, was lost while hiking, and thoughts go out to his family. That's a terrible tragedy. But yeah, outside of Susanna York in the Reeve films replacing Brando, we don't get a whole lot of that. So it's good to see here. But we get this shot. It's this is for everybody to enjoy. It's time to make one available for the whole family, for Lois and Jordan and me and Jonathan. Like, that was the longest. Let's establish who this is.
It's like he was trying to bring him into the frame.
Yes.
This guy.
Like the ellipses just kept going. Like and the camera's going to hold and hold and hold and break. But Lois does a good job at montaging us on who is where and what's where, really. I mean, she's giving an overall story, and we're just getting clips of what's what. Lana being established as mayor, Kyle coming into his own as a single dad, and, you know, maybe this apartment is not going to be temporary. Maybe it's I'm going to be here longer than I thought I was going to be, so I should slap some paint on it. And
was that security deposit?
Yeah. And obviously John and Nat making their home now. Their rocky roads seem to be behind them, and making home in Smallville. And, of course, Sam Lane shutting down the Smallville mines once and for all. So we can get the last two again. Let's just turn our back on those last two.
So let me ask you this, because as you're saying that, I forgot. Isn't that the only way for anyone to get to Bizarro World?
Yeah.
So Tal is stuck there.
Tal's there. He's gone. He'll find a way back.
I'm sure he will.
They'll find a way back to that. And finally, after 2 seasons and almost 30 episodes or so, we finally get Clark Kent behind a reporter's desk, ready to make a living at the Smallville Gazette. And very nice to see him and Lois across from each other. Mm-hmm. Very nice to see Lois and Clark on top of each other as well. Touche.
Yeah. Hello there.
Immediately she rolls off of it. Did you watch She-Hulk?
Yes.
Immediately she rolls off of him, and all I could think of was that shot of her at the end with Hulk talking about Captain America. They fought. Thank God COVID is over with. You know, not really. COVID's not. But thank God COVID's enough over with that they can show an intimate Clark and Lois, something we really haven't gotten to see in 2 seasons of this show, because you would think that the two of them would be going at each other a lot, and it appears that they are. They're in Tal's, I don't know, one of Tal's. When did he have time to get all these villas and cabins? And
when he was building up a $1 billion empire, I
guess as Morgan Edge. I guess they're Morgan Edge's properties. Yeah. I thought there was a moment in, I guess it was the second episode, because it was Bruno Mannheim. Spoiler alert. We'll get there when we get there. But Bruno was talking about watching Lex Luthor make his millions and Morgan Edge make his millions. And I'm always like, but there never was a Morgan Edge.
It was all an illusion.
It was all an illusion. But it's good to see them. I'm not being disgusting. I'm just, intimate. I mean, it's good to see them being, not so much of the past 2 seasons have been them as parents and them as parents and them as parents. And it's good to see them as, a married couple that are very much in love. And this long into their relationship, still enjoying each other. Also, speaking of enjoying things, Jordan is enjoying learning how to fly.
Oh, yeah.
Getting better at flying, even. I mean, we saw him fly a little bit in season 2, but really coming into his own and trying to show out in front of his dad, which doesn't go too well. You don't show in front of Superman. You don't tug on Superman's cape. I mean,
that's what
rule number
I heard.
I've heard that my entire life. Yeah, I'm watching this flying sequence right now, and there's Fortress and a whole lot of nothing. So it's nowhere to be seen. It's way far off. Jordan is, of course, drenched because Clark threw him in the water, and he's trusting enough to go. You get to fly home on your own. We're giving you some free reign a little bit. We want you to enjoy it responsibly.
And you got to learn the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's a John Mulaney joke in there talking about parents letting their kids drink. Okay, just a little, just a little. We'd rather you do it at the house than somewhere else. And while he's doing that, Jonathan, I guess Jordan doesn't need a driver's license because Jonathan's a little bit more earthbound than Jordan is. Robin asked where this truck came from, and I was like, they were from Tal. The season, Tal gave him both trucks. Now I don't know what happened to the other one. Maybe they sold one of them and just decided to keep the one.
Kept it for parts.
But Jonathan's getting ready, and this is really his only big scene in the episode. But it's a good introduction to Michael. Mm-hmm. and seeing what he can bring to the table. He's not doing a Jordan impression.
No, they're
very much doing his own thing, which I appreciate.
Very, very separate, and but not so different. Like Wacky Neighbor different or anything like that, to where it's off-putting.
It's not Dick York and Dick Sargent.
No, and it's just a very kind of seems like a very kind of slow, kind of transitional sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think he came into his own a lot, and I've yet to watch the third one, and I realized that's out at the time of this recording.
Mm-hmm.
But
I just watched it. I thought we were doing all three.
Oh gosh, I hadn't seen it. You talk about it. I'll listen.
You ain't gonna believe what I saw.
But I do appreciate what he's bringing to the table. I do love this scene because I love Lois teaching somebody how to drive, because that is exactly how Lois Lane would react to somebody learning how to drive with her.
That is how I learned.
That's just the quick cuts and
quick cuts, a lot of shouting
and everything.
Bread truck.
So here's something I never considered while we're just kind of talking about where everybody is at the beginning of the season and getting their feet wet on everything. And I guess there was obviously some thought of this, especially last season, because that's where Nat comes into play at the season 1 finale, and then season 2 forward. Well, we see her in season 1, but joining our core group here in season 2. I never considered Sam being her grandfather. Like, obviously that's a duh thing, but it just was kind of this, I just never thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, when she lands in 115 or whatever that was, and then obviously 201, we get more into that story. There's been interaction, but it's, this whole thing is very difficult because Lois is her mom on that planet. I just never considered Sam being her grandfather. So I was interested where they were going with that storyline, and then Sam just mucks it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's his move.
Yeah. Who's motive? Are you all just getting us all to work for the DOD? Is that what
his motives are all ulterior?
So Robin had asked, I guess, he was trying to recruit Nat. Sam was trying to recruit Nat for that junior division of the DOD.
You're right.
Robin asked, I think in the last episode, if that was the same division that the kids were being pulled into in season 1.
Maybe, but didn't they shut that down?
I assume they shut that down. And then I also wondered, of course, this gets into the whole, this being its own Earth and Diggle and John Diggle and all that stuff. There was a point in time where we were getting yet another Arrowverse spinoff, the Justice U.
Yeah.
With Diggle at the helm. And I don't think that's happening anymore the way the CW is. We've been told when the Flash ends next month that's the end of the Arrowverse. Yeah,
because technically this is after the reset of Crisis. Doesn't that just make this all Superman and Lois just its own thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Standing on its own. Other than Diggle.
Well, and the only thing that I heard or read about James Gunn saying is like, it's a good show. I'm not gonna axe it.
Yeah, I've heard, we'll see how much they've got left. People like it. I assume maybe one more season, I would hope, just in the way things are going. I don't know how much they're going to consider this Elseworlds like they do Matt Reeves' Batman or Joker, or, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker or stuff like that. I don't know. But I'll eat this up for as long as I can, because I love, especially Tyler and Bitsy, just how much they have to give on this show. So Nat and John coming into their own, Sam trying to be more friendly with Nat, but it doesn't go the way Nat wants it to. She wants a relationship with somebody. John's trying to open her up more to this world, because there was so much, kind of just from the get-go of 201, we were just thrown into the whole bizarro of everything. And the way that escalated. And this is a little bit more of a soft, I'm not going to call it a soft reboot, I guess, but this is a slow start.
Seems also a little bit of a, especially toward the beginning of the episode, a little more sort of slice of life, like just here's what's going on sort of thing, rather than immediately going into plot.
Which I like, because we just automatically kind of got dropped into that in season 2. Lana obviously working as mayor now of Smallville after those episodes in season 2, which looking back, just I was fairly critical of it on the podcast because I think it became the Superman and Lana show more than it did Superman and Lois, and a lot of dedication was given to her with the whole Clark's reveal to her and everything, and they seem to have done very well separating this, because there's a scene in this episode, the first time Clark and Lana talk, other than the black mold at the school, their conversation is about Lois.
Yes.
Instead of, anything between them or hostility. So it feels like that's been put behind this. I still find it weird, though, that we don't know if Sarah knows that Clark is Superman. I mean, we assume that we do, but nothing was ever directly said in either of these 2 episodes or any of the last couple episodes of season 2.
I think they kind of want to push past that. Like, they don't want to have the kind of sort of weird questions or just that sort of awkward thing that would have had to have happened.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, now I'm in the inner circle because I know.
Right. And it doesn't have to be addressed. Although, of people getting in the know, I've really enjoyed Beppo, Chrissy, having been in the inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been enjoyable. I lost my train of thought completely there. There was Clark here's the crane about to crash when he's talking to Chrissy, and he runs off, and Chrissy's like, yep, go save whatever you're saving. Go do your thing. I enjoyed that. Of course, Clark rushes to the rescue, or Superman rushes to the rescue, because Jordan is there trying to save the crane, and he's not doing a great job.
It's time to. He's trying, but
he's doing his homework. Heat vision is not going to save the day, though.
Nope.
So he, takes him back to the fortress for his talking to. I was a little skeptical of this fortress in the finale of season 2, because I was like, that just doesn't feel fortressy. But there's like a nighttime exterior shot when they go back to the fortress here, and I was like, that's the fortress. I'm happy with that. It's cool to see it surrounded by water. It's different than the snow aesthetic, but
yeah, because the one maybe I'm misremembering, but it was more of a cave
from season 1 and 2.
Yeah,
just a opening to a cave, and then you were in it. There weren't the the Donner.
So it's a lot more classic. I wonder if they got some feedback like, hey, we got to work this in,
which I appreciate, because I like it, and I hope. I assume they're going to be using it more and more this season as a result. Let's see. What was I going to... we were talking about the black mold a minute ago. I really liked Clark x-raying the school. It's like, it's everywhere.
Oh, no, it's everywhere.
We can put you to good use elsewhere.
I want to talk to you about home inspection.
Do you have insurance?
Yeah.
I just want to see.
Because you can always have more.
Lois has gotten fairly deep into this Bruno Mannheim thing, which is nice hearing characters like that get used sparsely in live action, Intergang, and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's been a while since we heard of Intergang, unless you read the comics.
Yeah, I'm going to lose my street cred. Was that ever in Smallville? I feel like it was mentioned, but never.
Characters, yes, but I don't think they ever said the word Intergang.
I was trying to think if when they used Maxwell Lord,
because they had him. They may have had Church, but maybe I'm thinking of Superman and Lois.
Yeah, that was Superman and Lois,
or Lois and Clark.
I know. Brian Q. Miller used Intergang in season 11 in the comics, and that may be what I'm thinking of. And I think he probably used that because it wasn't utilized in live action on the show. But that has taken her to Metropolis because she has, under the guise of Metcalf. I can't remember the name she uses because I kept thinking, was there some connection to something in the alias she used? Trying to see John Irons' sister from this Earth. Obviously, we find out in the season 2 finale that John Henry Irons was killed. This Earth's John Henry Irons was killed by Bruno Mannheim. And
allegedly.
Lois is trying to get more information on that, and it's gone directly to the source of his sister to find out more information. Unfortunately, she finds out even more information while she's or unfortunately, when you get to the end of the episode. But she gives real symptoms to what's going on. To what's going on with her, and Dr. Irons is like, I think you're pregnant. Have you been sexually active lately? Yes, they have.
Quite. You might, in fact, say I've been super active.
27 days after Bizarro disappeared, yes, we made up for lost time. But otherwise, she's not getting anywhere with Dr. Irons. She doesn't want to talk anything about her brother. Almost suspect. Can I just go ahead and throw out a theory? Just
I'll go.
Out of the gate. Is she onomatopoeia? Is she like out of the gate? That's where my mind keeps going. Because in the second episode, we finally hear onomatopoeia speak, and it's kind of a feminine voice.
It definitely is. Well, and you get a better. There's more shots of the character in the light in episode 2.
Very thin framed, very tall, and thin. I hate to go ahead and be like, spoilers, but that's my theory. I think I think she killed her brother. I don't know why. We'll find out, but I think that's what's going on. Where else are our characters during this time period? Sarah and Jordan still broken up. Jordan's still not taking it well. Very much pining after Sarah, who's coming into her own a little bit. It's cut her hair. She's driving her car now. She's got her own thing going on, but she wants to be friends, just the best of friends. So much so that Jordan brings her a gift and she just leaves it on the table and gets up and leaves when she realizes she's got to go. That's good. That hurts.
Young love. It stings. I mean, and I know we're going to jump around quite a bit, but
yeah.
Are you getting the same kind of almost like Clark and Lana vibe of the sort of the back and forth?
Oh yeah. Except that we finally, the 30 episodes in, she knows the secret versus 6 years and
seen it from behind a wine rack.
100 plus episodes. They'll get together. They'll break back up. She'll date somebody else. He'll date somebody. It'll be a thing.
It'll be a CW thing.
It will be a CW thing. Because if this show's about anything, it's about relationships. When Lois does come back and tells Clark's complaining about Jordan. He's like, "Oh, it's going to be so much easier when they're in high school. By the way, I'm pregnant."
Can you believe we're almost done?
Oh God! What did you do to me? What did you do to me? And I love that just kind of rocks his world a little bit. What? I didn't understand. He was like, "I didn't think that could happen." Well, why didn't you think that could happen?
Hey,
what? Yeah. That can happen.
It can. It happened once.
Yeah.
And then twice.
Of course, my old thing, I'm thinking back to the previous incarnation of these characters through Crisis, and I'm like, well, you had one and magically became twins. But
they split into.
Other than that.
They split into and aged 15 years.
Yeah. We do get a nice brief Jordan and Jonathan moment on the front porch. Short, but just we do get to see the brothers interact, and that is a heavy burden for Michael because and not even so much with the other characters, but Jordan Elsass and Alex that plays Jordan. I hate to see Jordan go, but it's going to be a little less confusing talking about it on the podcast.
Right.
It did get a little hairy there for a while trying to connect all that. But Jonathan and Jordan, whether it be Michael or Jordan Elsass, their dynamic has been a fantastic aspect of this series, and that is a credit to those actors, to Alex and Jordan for the first 2 seasons playing them. And I hope we see more of that and with Michael coming into this role, because that episode where Jordan's possessed by Tal's dad, and he's holding Jonathan up in the barn trying to kill him, and all that, like, that was fantastic. Just the way the two of them played off each other. So it's nice to see a brief little bit of that here with them, but I hope there's even more of that to come, and I'm sure there will be, but we just have to briefly get into that. In Michael's first outing as the character. What else happened in this episode? I remember Lois and Lana going out and having girls' night, which I like. I like that they're friendly again, because they. Yeah. I never understood. I didn't understand a lot of the choices that Lana made, or the writers had Lana make last season. The anger over Clark revealing, that he's been Superman all this time. I get that. The way she lashed out at Lois over it and said that Lois lied to her. Again, I said this last season, it was never Lois's secret to tell.
Exactly. And not only that, hey, look, you got to understand, I'm protecting not just me. I'm not even protecting the guy who really does not need any protection. I've got kids that for all she knew up till that point were just normal, unpowered, very, humanly vulnerable kids.
Yeah.
You can get mad all you want to. She was doing the right thing.
She was doing absolutely the right thing. I don't question Lois really ever doing the wrong thing. But, what have you? I all that to say, I was glad to see them back on the same page.
Yes. 27 days is a long time.
Yeah, it is.
It's time to heal.
Another good moment that Michael got as Jonathan in this episode during the driving test, finding out the coach was
that was beautiful.
Yeah, you had to take a second job. You imploded the entire football program. Now, why would I need another job?
That was genius.
What awesome. I love too is later at their birthday party, he's there.
Oh yeah,
he's like, who's not at this birthday party? Chrissy shows up. It was all all these random people are showing up. But Jonathan does pass his driving test, which is good because he's got that really nice brand new truck to drive.
Yeah, it'd be a shame not to pass that. Yeah.
There's a shot of them outside the exterior of the farm with the truck in the background when Lois and he come back from the driving test, and there's only the one truck back there, so I do wonder if they got rid of it. Jordan doesn't truck. Sell that off.
No, but so I made the kept it for parts joke, but then as I said it, do you know how often trucks get smashed up on that farm?
This is true. This is absolutely 100% true. We need.
If history tells us anything, it's that truck will get destroyed repeatedly.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Are you in good hands?
Yeah. But we are preparing for Jordan and Jonathan's 16th birthday. Hard to believe they're 16. I remember when they were 0.
Yes.
And there was only one of them. So, what have you. But literally the entire town seems to have come out for this event. I mean, Sam and John and Nat were there. You expect that. They're family and pseudo family. Chrissy shows up very awkwardly, giving an alarm clock.
It's an alarm clock.
It's, kids know what those are? Kyle's on the Kyle's going to take over the grill. It's good. It was good to see a Clark-Kyle conversation where Kyle wasn't being shitty to Clark, because we didn't get a whole lot of interaction between the two of them in season 2 at all. But most of their interaction in season 1 was just Kyle being curt.
Yes, very antagonistic.
So it's good to see them on the same level. But I also felt like a lot of that was always you're the ex-boyfriend kind of crumminess toward it.
That. And then what he said to him was basically like, you left. You didn't ever come back.
Yeah. You don't really care for people who turn their back on the town.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to find out this season. I feel like that's going to come to fruition at some point.
Well,
and not because of the woman he sleeps with in this episode, I feel like is not going to have a good, easy time keeping her mouth shut.
Maybe not, but if half the town knows and he doesn't,
yeah,
you're getting into weird territory at that point.
Did they write the other daughter off? I mean, I know she was there in the scene painting the apartment, but we never saw her again. I love how she just pops up once every 6 episodes.
It's going to be a Jamie Foxx from Family Matters kind of just gone, goes up the stairs and never comes back down. But Kyle and Chrissy kind of connect in the Kent kitchen over embarrassing moments. Oh, yes.
She says she embarrassed herself in front of a bunch of teenagers, and he's like, I did worse, I guarantee you. So I didn't anticipate them being together, but all right, we'll see where that takes us. So far, it's made for some good comedy and awkward moments. A fair share of both. Yeah, Coach is at the birthday party. He does not like Clark's grilling. He immediately spits it out. But at some point, of course, I know they show this video, but at some point, Mayor Dean is at the party too. And I'm like, why is George Dean
at least
getting 60? Even if he was coming to find Lana, like, it just made no sense to me whatsoever.
He was the only one specifically uninvited.
Yeah, you were the only one we didn't want here. It was you and Bizarro.
I told you.
Yeah. We do get this great montage of childhood pictures of Jordan and Jonathan growing up, which are actually childhood pictures of Michael and Jordan.
That was AI.
Michael and Alex. Oh, see, now I'm doing it. It was AI, wasn't it? Listen, speaking of AI, this is for the listeners. I got to say this. So last week, Robin and Frank joked about me joining via AI on the podcast. They didn't actually do any of that, thankfully. But later, after they recorded and were telling me how it went, they sent me actual AI me doing the episode descriptions and spoilers. I don't care for that one bit. It sounded way too accurate.
Oh, man.
I don't care for that at all.
Did it use recordings of you from?
Apparently, Frank uploaded recordings of me and then told it and then gave it a script.
Good Lord!
I'll play it for you in a minute. It's okay. It's quite terrifying. I don't care for it one bit.
He's going to make you say terrible things.
Well, it's good to know if I can't be here this season, they can plug me in. Gee, friggin' Terminator. Clark runs off to save the day. He hears something, obviously. His little... I need a noise for that. We've never really...
Aquaman hearing.
Yeah, I've never come up with a good term for it. In season 1, I always thought it had something to do with the pager.
Yeah, and that made sense.
Yeah, but now it's just whenever he uses it, it's that noise. And I'm like, I need a term for that. He's off to fight Atom Man, who has returned after... 20 years? I don't know how long it's been. It's when he first became Superman is when we saw him fight him,
right,
in that flashback episode in season 2. So, or season 1. So,
I haven't forgot about it.
Yeah. So it's been a minute. We find out he was released from jail due to having an inoperable brain tumor. So he only had months to live. The street they're fighting on nobody else cares about this but me. So I'm just going to share it for my own benefit. There's a building that everybody's running past. And I'm like, I think I've been in that building. I have been in that building. So that building was used. It's a hotel, and it was used on the 90210 reboot that Fox did a couple of seasons ago, and they had turned it into a casino. And we shot the first episode, I think, was shot in there, and maybe again later. And I was like, I recognize that episode. I always love recognizing stuff in Vancouver, especially stuff that was on Smallville. I'm like, wait, no, wrong show. But yeah, Superman is fighting Adam Man, aka Henry Miller, who now has superpowers. Thought we were going to be done with the whole everybody's got superpowers on this show thing, but here's one more. And they really do some damage. I mean, this is an excellent fight scene.
Yeah.
Fight scenes go. Tell you what, there was some sequence now, and I'm forgetting what it was. I know we'll talk about when we get there in a minute, but in the second episode, that was just one of the... or was it the opening? No, it was the opening to the third. I did watch the opening to the third episode where Clark's having the dream.
Yes.
Holy crap, how much money did they spend on that? I mean, that was fantastic.
Not only that, it answered a question that I've had for many years. So let's just stick to the realm of Superman and Lois.
Okay.
He's been Superman for, we'll say
at least 20.
At least 20.
We've come up with at least 20 years.
Okay. I have always wondered what sort of horrible nightmares someone with his abilities and all the things that he's seen over that time would have. I mean, it's got to be like PTSD at some point.
Right. Well, I don't want to get too far into it just because it is the third episode and we're just talking about the first two. But I can at least address, and it will tie into Lois' storyline that we find out more about in the second episode. One of my favorite Superman tropes isn't the right word, but elements, I guess, is a powerless Superman, and not powerless in a depowered way, like not having his abilities. A powerless Superman that is, the Dwayne McDuffie the monologue from when he's battling the Darkseid in Justice League. I feel like I'm in a world made out of cardboard. You know, that kind of thing. Like I can't punch my way through everything. I can't, and this is an instance of that with Lois. I can't fix what's happening with Lois.
Yeah, exactly. And this was, and they did answer a question. Was it in the second episode or the third one? I don't recall, but they're really going to play the human element of this all the way out. There's no, at least for now, there's no way out of just going through this as a real kind of part of the story. I find fascinating.
I guess it's not spoiling it because we're going to talk about it, but obviously we find out Lois isn't pregnant, that she has cancer, that she, that the symptoms she thought she was having, she might be pregnant, and ultimately she's got stage 3 inflammatory breast cancer. And I mean, they are going to straight up treat cancer like a villain. And it's, it's something you see that heartbreak when Lois is talking that judge off the roof in the second episode, which is a fantastic moment. Even the judge's name was Reagan, and that's from was it All-Star Superman? Or Superman for All Seasons. I think it's All-Star Superman, where Superman's on the ledge with the girl who's about to commit suicide, and her name is Reagan, and he tells her, "You're much stronger than you think you are." And that's exactly what Lois says to the judge in this episode. I thought that was phenomenal. But, Clark overhearing Superman floating above and having to overhear that is just the look on his face. And then later in the second episode, when they tell the boys, and he's kind of just off to himself and over on the other end of the table and trying to process. And again, it's just this villain that he can't tackle. He can't fight it. And it's going to make for it's, I got mad at it at first because all last season I was like, please give Lois a storyline. Please give Lois a story. Because they just kept left her dangling on a whole lot of threads last season that never really amounted to anything other than Lucy. Like, and even that was more about Lucy than it was Lois.
Right.
So I was like, on the podcast, I was like, she's got to have something that puts her at the center of everything. And then I watched the second episode. I was like, not like this.
I didn't mean that.
I didn't specify. Did not specify. Like her.
You want a Lois story? I'll give you a Lois story.
We'll talk about that more in a minute. But the Henry battle in the streets of Metropolis. So when Clark gets thrown back into that explosion, and he comes walking out, did you see the face he makes? He's like, you messed up. No. It's kind of that same smirk Ralph gives in Returns when he gets shot in the eyeball. Exactly. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you must be new in town.
Oh, you forget.
Oh, you're going to find out so quickly.
It's cute.
They do some damage, though, in that fight, in that midair fight scene. I mean, it's not Henry Cavill and
Darkseid or Batman?
I was thinking Michael Shannon. I was saying Henry Cavill and Terrence Stamp, and I was like, no, that's not right.
That's not.
But yeah, they definitely tear up some city.
They do. To be fair, and this will kind of play into a little more into the second episode. To be fair, it did seem like Superman is trying to get the fight away from the most populated place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, he picked a very fortuitous spot.
Yes, he did. Henry kind of shows remorse for what's going on because Clark's like, I thought you were in jail. Why you have superpower? You know, the typical Superman, interviewing the villain mid-fight. But, he says, I can't let them. I have to finish what I started. I can't give them the. I forget the exact wording of what he said, but basically, Clark wants to know who did this to you, like who gave you these powers and made you what you are. And he says they're coming for me. They're going to come after me, and I can't let them stop me. I have to finish this. So very vague, for the most part. But their battle continues as the birthday party continues. Back in Smallville, nobody really notices Clark is missing, so that's good. That's always, where'd Clark go?
There he is.
Ran out of ice.
He went to get dip.
So, speaking of moments I absolutely adored in this episode, so Jordan got reamed out, obviously, after going off on his own to try and save that crane.
Yes.
And Clark really, gives him one over back at the fortress. So at the party, and Jordan's talking to Sarah, and he hears somebody crying out in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It looks off in the distance, and he doesn't do anything about it. I mean, he knows he can't, and I saw a couple people kind of compare it to the Kevin Costner, what am I supposed to do? Right. Just let him die? I don't know, maybe. And I feel like a lot of people took that horribly out of context. I mean, that was a father trying to protect his son. Now, he wasn't telling him, let people perish. I mean, that wasn't the point of that. That was very much a dad putting his son first and everybody else second.
There's that, and he knew the importance of being entirely ready and being a fully formed person.
Yeah,
because he knew how important that was going to be. In the farther this goes along this season, I think that for sure you're going to see both Jordan and Clark making a lot of decisions that they would not have made under normal conditions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. But to see, I think Alex acted this so well in hearing that trouble alert, and Sarah asking if he's going to fly off, and he just says no.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. You can't always save everybody. You can't always do everything, and it's impossible. That you always think Superman always gets such a bad rap because it's always, oh, he's too strong, he's too powerful, he can do everything. Well, imagine, being that person who can hear everything and not being fast enough to I mean, it's much like Lois with cancer.
Exactly.
Or Jonathan having a heart attack and pick your incarnation. Superman the movie, Smallville, you know, all these powers, and I couldn't even save him. You know, it's that kind of thing. To be able to hear so much wrong around the world and not being able to automatically fix it and having to literally choose your never-ending battle here or there. But Clark's battle, Superman's battle, ends up in Suicide Slums against Atom Man, who gets just pebbled by shots of the bullet kind, not of the alcoholic kind. But
we learn later that there were no bullets.
No bullets. Clark looks off and sees a masked figure, which Robin and Frank didn't catch it, which is fine. I read this run of Green Arrow because Kevin Smith wrote it, and I thought it was phenomenal. So to see that this character, Onomatopoeia, in the flesh was so cool to me. I don't know why we're getting a Green Arrow character, but I didn't think twice about it. I just thought it was amazing because it looks like, I mean, it's very comic accurate.
Well, and if you think about it, if you have no Arrow to compete with,
yeah,
why not? You got a litany, you know, just a myriad of characters.
I think it's fair too. As many as Batman villains as Arrow utilized.
Oh yeah,
its run. So I thought it was pretty fair. But a cool character to see in live action for the first time ever, done very well, and who also seems to be able to screw with Superman's hearing a good bit, because I'm referring to her as she. I'm sorry if that's.
I'm sure it is.
I don't mean to be sexist, but I think it is a woman, and I kind of do wonder if it's Dr. Irons.
We'll find out at some point.
Yeah. So, but you know, sends Clark off on a wild goose chase looking for danger, which he can't even localize. He can't pinpoint it because it's messed with his hearing so much. And I'm trying to think how that relates now. Oh, it goes back to George Dean being at the twins' birthday party, which was just so funny to me. But just really confronts Lana in front of everybody. He's like, you don't know what you've done with the money. Get the money back.
What the money back?
Why did you move the money? Well, I'm using that money for the school. A little fungus isn't going to do anybody any harm. I beg to differ, sir. Yes, it will.
It's not any worse than the asbestos that's in that school. I didn't say that. I got to go.
Don't worry about the asbestos. We have ways around that. Don't worry about that one bit. That little guy, I wouldn't worry about it. That's immediately what I thought too when Henry got shot in the alley and there weren't even bullets. I was like, that little guy, I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
Don't worry about that little guy. Good enough for me.
Dean is mad about this missing money, and that was in a, I don't know, hidden bank account that somehow he knows has been moved. So what do we think about that? I mean, we see more about the second.
I feel like it's probably connected to. I don't know if it's connected to Mannheim specifically, but considering who goes after him, I have to think it is.
Yeah, possibly. Then you think, well, what does Smallville have to do with Mannheim? But
but here's the thing, though. Well, we're not talking about episode 3 yet.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten there, so I don't know.
Even so, one does not stay the mayor for quite a long time without there being something up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's no lifelong mayor.
You don't just keep getting reelected unless you're in it to something. I thought it was kind of suspect. Clark gets back from the party and they get the Hawaiian shirts. That's what happens.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, they're great.
Just got to wear them once.
Of course, they go off to, have super sex again. But Clark never mentions this, that it's Henry or that, the missing bullets or any of that. That doesn't get brought up in the league. That's fine. we're going to have sex. Speaking of having sex, here's Chrissy and Kyle, who have also done the horizontal Smallville.
The walk of shame.
And, well, she doesn't get to do the walk quite just yet, because as she goes for the door, there's Lana with the divorce papers. So, awkward situation upon awkward situation. But do you think they'll have them get back together this season? Do you think that's a thing, that this is their road, their arc that will ultimately bring them together again?
Maybe, but at the same time, when you go back and look at even just season 1, like before everything kind of went down, they were clearly not in the healthiest of relationships.
No.
So, just you break apart and you find out that, hey, there is a normalcy and there's not somebody that I'm, constantly in a battle with.
Right.
It's probably going to be a healthy thing for both of them eventually. But the one thing that I can say is, if, like we were talking about earlier, one knows that the world's greatest superhero dwells among them, the other is entirely oblivious.
Yeah.
And when that bomb is dropped,
yeah,
And
I have to think, just from his past anger issues, that's not going to fly well with him either. No pun intended, with Kyle.
No, but what's he going to do about it?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. When we do get back to the Gazette, though, Clark has told Lois more about Henry Miller, which is when she finds out he's been released from prison 3 months previously due to compassionate release due to a brain tumor. So he's been on the streets for a while and is just obviously is now, well, deceased again. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll appreciate this, though. So Chrissy comes in from the Walk of Shame, very frazzled, and they're like, "What's wrong?" Nothing. How's the mold story? I heard mole story. I was like,
that's the mole story.
Mole? You say?
Mole.
That's a Smallville favorite, a shoe favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we do end the episode. Almost in the episode, with Lois finding out that she is not pregnant, and we'd like to Dr. Irons, and we'd like to have more conversations. Now, we'll talk more about that in the second episode. Now, in the depths of Metropolis, in the suicide slums, we assume, I did love that it was through a subway tunnel. It was very Superman, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like Lex's lair down there. We see a Dr. Mr. Orr, a Bruno Mannheim, onomatopoeia. Or down there, somebody else, I can't remember, and Henry Miller on the table, who is dead.
Quite
dead, because Onomatopoeia shot him, presumably before he could tell Superman anything about what was going on. Because as we find out more in the second episode, she seems to be running this operation quite more than Bruno does.
Well, because I feel like there's going to be something revealed that she just needed Bruno's resources for.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just interested to see how this is all going to play out together, especially if she is who I think she is. I really like this Bruno, though. I forget the actor's name. I know he's done a lot of things. And I apologize for not having that in front of me. I've since COVID, I'm terrible with names. My internal IMDb is just shot. I can be watching an episode of Law and Order now, and I'm like, I've seen this person, but I have no clue who they are.
I don't think that's COVID, man. That's happening to me too.
That maybe age. I don't know. Twins, COVID, getting old, it all happened at the same time, so I'm not really sure. But we do find out that Bruno Bruno's the one telling us that Henry's already died once, at least once, and that they're reviving him. He's flatlined on the table right now. Revive him again. And he tells Onomatopoeia, we're getting closer. Which was the name of the episode.
Yes.
That's why I have to become Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. So that's why they called it that.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot packed into what was didn't seem like a packed premiere. But
by the end of it, it was. They really stuffed it in the last half.
Going into the second episode, we are treated to just the most breaking of cold open montages ever, and no voiceover, no nothing, no dialogue whatsoever between our characters as Lois is meeting with Dr. Irons, and we do find out just through straight up imagery that things are bad. I mean,
man, my heart was breaking.
My God, she played so well. Like, if you had told me 3 seasons ago Bitsy was going to be my favorite Lois, I won't call that until this series is over, and that's not a discredit to Bitsy. I just feel like that would be discrediting everybody else if I did.
Yeah, you have to look at the compendium.
If I didn't give her the full benefit of the doubt, but there's not been a Lois that I haven't. I mean, even I know people love to hate on Kate Bosworth. I thought she did a great job for what that movie was.
Yeah,
and of course I love that movie, and I will defend it to my dying breath.
I watched it the other day.
I did too. I love Amy. I love obviously Erica. I grew up watching Margot and Terry, and so
the lovely Noelle Neal.
She has done things with Lois that we've never gotten to see a live action Lois do before, and now obviously even more so with this storyline. She's gonna break our hearts left and right. I can already tell you, but there's just all these shots of her just being so distant in the midst of everybody else being present. They're at Victoria Mays, and Clark and the boys are laughing, and there's that shot of her through the window, and she's just not present. Clark cuddling up to her in bed. I thought I had to go back and look. I think they switched places, which I don't know a lot of married couples that do that, but.
You plant your flag.
I think in season 2 she was on the other side of the bed and he was on the other side, but I may be wrong. But
trying something new.
We do find out that obviously she does, have something bad, and we don't know what at first, and it takes a while throughout the episode for her to finally put a name to it. That it is the inflammatory the stage 3 breast cancer. And we'll get there, and obviously we've talked about it a lot already, and I don't know how much more of a fine point to put on it, other than we did say I think it's going to be her own villain, her own personal villain in the story. We thought it was going to be her chasing down Bruno Mannheim, but it's really going to be cancer chasing her.
Did I hear a cricket? Possibly.
That usually happens when I talk. That almost always happens.
That was terrible timing. As soon as you pause, crickets.
Was it, or was it fantastic timing?
I don't know.
So the boys are out of school again. I feel like this happens a lot. I feel like it happened in season 2 a good bit too. That classes got canceled, and there's too much mold in the school, so we can't go to school.
I bet there's something up with that too.
The mold?
Yeah.
Why not? That's Bruno's fault too.
This is where they cross over with The Last of Us.
It's George Dean's fault. He put the mold in the school. I liked seeing more of Sarah and Nat's friendship in this episode. There was almost a brief time in the first couple episodes of season 2 that I thought they were going to kind of have a relationship, that they were kind of pushing in that direction. Obviously they didn't. But I've enjoyed seeing their friendship grow, and they seem to be the best of friends in this episode. So much so that Sarah wants to, Nat hasn't had a lot. Obviously, we talked about that with the last episode with Sam, playing granddad but doing a piss poor job at it, and John's trying to push her into doing more things. And opening up her world a little bit now, since this is their permanent home, with the destruction of their own Earth.
Oh yeah,
and we see Sarah doing that now. And again, I guess it's we see it more. We do get a definitive discussion right here that she is aware that Natalie is from another Earth, and her knowledge of that.
Yeah, they just kind of downloaded her with everything.
Yeah. You had to get caught up off Screenville, as we used to call it.
She's probably got a key to the fortress. It is for everybody.
Who doesn't? but she's like, what, what were there any boys you liked on your planet, on your Earth? And what if he exists here too? And lo and behold, he does. He goes to Metropolis High, and is the doppelganger of the one that Nat knew on her Earth. Unfortunately, he's a douche, so we don't care too much about him. And she sizes that up as soon as she gets there. Automatically hears him talking about his car, and so when she infiltrates the party that Jonathan and Jonathan and Jordan also infiltrate,
like some pros.
Yeah, excellent.
Roll up.
And I thought it was funny that not only have we recast Jonathan, the Reagan from season 1 was also recast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just...
It's called shuffling the deck.
At some point, every person on the show will be recast by the end of it.
We'll bring in, what was the guy's name? The other guy from Nip Tuck. He'll be the new Sam.
Oh, not Dylan. Yeah, Julian.
Yeah.
McMahon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that his actual name, or was that his character's name? I can't remember. I watched that whole show, and now I can't remember.
We'll just call him Dr. Doom.
That's fine. That's what he was. I do really like seeing Clark and Lois get to be reporter Clark and Lois. There was that one episode, like we said in season 1, where we got to the flashback episode where we got to kind of see them team up on stuff. And obviously they've teamed up on stuff in the last 2 seasons, but story-wise, getting to be the old school Lane and Kent that they are famous for being at the Daily Planet. They've gone to find out why this judge that we talked about earlier, Judge Reagan, who let Henry Miller out early, what was her reasoning for that? Because he was supposed to die, and obviously he didn't. Or he did, but we don't know that he did. But Clark is very distracted, or Lois is really distracted this whole episode. Clark is wondering why Lois is so distracted. He thinks, she's made up some story that she met Sam that morning for breakfast or something, I guess, and he thinks that's why he dropped some news on her or something, and that's why she's not present. And obviously it takes up until Lois talking that judge off the roof because she's about to kill herself over this whole Henry Miller thing, and Lois talks her down, and that's when Clark finds out what's really been going on with her all day. And
it was an interesting scene because he's on television. He can't have the kind of emotional sort of, super scream that he wants to do.
Yeah.
And just has to kind of play it very cool.
And now that you say that, I thought back, I watched the episode this morning. So when the cops take the judge inside and Lois is like, I'll be in a minute, and Clark lands and they embrace.
Mm-hmm.
There's a security camera right there pointed right at him.
Yeah.
I was like, is that going to come back to at some point? I felt very much like Clark saving Lana and Lionel having the picture in Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is Bruno Mannheim going to get a copy of that and see the two of them embracing?
Maybe, but you know what? So we've kind of glassed over, or we were going to talk about it at some point, but while that whole, so there were 2 scenes going on at the same time with that judge and Lois, and then that
very much whiplash of cutting to Lana and John in the middle of all that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but the scenes between, or the scene between Superman and Bruno Mannheim, I thought for sure when they first introduced him at the end of episode 1, mm-hmm. that it was just going to be this, one note supervillain sort of vendetta, sort of whatever's going on. But
yeah,
obviously with any kind of nefarious character, you can't trust 100% of what's going on. But when you hear that scene played out between him and Superman, it was not a a sort of a showdown, I will destroy you, or you got nothing on me, man, kind of thing that it looked like it was going to be. It went into some really interesting places.
Very different dimensions than what we would usually get from Superman and Lex standoff on a balcony, or anything that happens previously, like you said. There was some dynamics there that I really want to see. He's very protective of suicide slums. I mean, that's kind of what the hand he has, and he's kind of like the kingpin, Hell's Kitchen, that kind of thing of suicide slums. So, although it's not called, it used to be called suicide slums. He makes mentions because people were at the end of their rope and they were hopeless. And, he tells Superman, you've never done anything but put out fires. Like I never saved anybody here. And I mean, Superman's he's taking all that in as he's giving it to him. It's it's like all the scenes between the two of them, and I'm anxious for more. Are really good because it's obviously two people who have also stood in front of each other and traded barbs before. Also,
yes,
that's tells him to get out, never come back in my house and stay out of my neighborhood, and that kind of thing. So, I'm interested to see the dynamic moving forward with that. There's another moment that I wrote down. Oh, so jumping back when they are waiting on the judge to come in, and Mannheim's goons come in to escort them out. And, Lois is very much, don't, get your hands off me. And Clark's like, okay.
Went full Clark on that.
Dorky Clark. Yeah. Gotta love it.
Oh, gosh.
I love his Clark so much. I really do. I think he has done. He's gotten to do, and I'd say this like a broken record on the show. He's gotten to do something we've never really gotten to see a live action Clark do before, and that's be Superman for a long time. Mm-hmm. Most every time we get that character, it's always origin story.
Yes,
excluding I guess Ralph, even though that was Ralph's first and technically only outing if you don't include Crisis on Infinite Earth.
I do.
But yeah, I do too. But getting to see somebody who's been Superman for at least 2 decades, and get to watch him play that role, he's done phenomenal at it. I mean, Tyler and Bitsy have just knocked it out of the park time and time again on this show. So what all happens at the party? They play beer pong, but it's water pong. Mm-hmm. And Jordan and Sarah kick the dude's ass that it's his party that Nat had the hots for back on her Earth, but he ended up being a douche on this Earth. This was a very CW episode.
Oh, man.
Of the show.
Was it ever?
This was the OC. Natalie meets a new guy, Mateo, who I think will come back into play at some point of the season. Jonathan reconnects with Reagan. Again, not our original Jonathan, not our original Reagan, but they share a kiss, and Jonathan's like, nope, I have a girlfriend. Even though she was only shown briefly in 301 and didn't have a speaking line, but still there. I guess that was pretty much it, other than obviously it comes to a head with the dude being a complete dick to Sarah.
Yeah.
And her throwing the beer in his face and them exiting quickly. But then Jordan goes back and pulls a little Smallville Clark Kent and
oh yeah, that was some classic.
Yeah. Let's see. I would call it more of a staple of a young Clark Kent. He even does it in Man of Steel. That trucker at the diner. Yeah. He slams his rig through a telephone pole, or a telephone pole through his rig. And then obviously in the Smallville pilot, Clark takes Whitney and everybody else's from the football team's trucks and piles them up.
Plays a little Jenga.
Mm-hmm. Depending on the version you're watching. Because in a lot of versions of the pilot that gets cut out.
What?
Yeah, I don't even think it's in the Hulu the syndicated version. It's just yeah, it's one of those that gets cut out for time. Let's see, what else have we got in this one? This was just another stacked episode, really. And not really in terms of effect wise. I mean, in some instances, obviously the big two were onomatopoeia killing. I wonder if they'll ever actually say the name of the character or not. I don't know if it's just that, or if, I mean, Bizarro was never really called Bizarro, I guess. Mm-hmm. But she kills George Dean in like the second scene of the episode, who is calling Lana to tell her that he always cared about the pride of Smallville. And I was with Robin and Frank in the last episode. They were like, wasn't that what they kept calling Martha in season 1, the pride of Smallville? But I think she was the best of Smallville.
I have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, I think the bench they dedicated for her even calls her is Martha Kent, the best of Smallville. But this storyline gets us a little bit closer on the whole John and Lana pairing, which is kind of what drove Kyle to Chrissy in the last episode. And they kind of started hinting at it in season 2 and then dropped it.
Yeah.
And then picked it up again. So I don't know if that's what'll end up be going, but that would be it's interesting, because then that would make Nat and Sarah sisters, you know, if they were to ever get married, and then Nat's already kind of a sister to Jonathan and George. It's all very incestuous, otherworldly incestuous.
It's getting into As the World Turns, really.
Yeah, it's just days of our Smallville. Yeah. But they go to investigate. John and Lana go to investigate what the pride of Smallville means, and there's a seal. What would you call that?
Yeah, the seal. Yeah, that's it.
That jump drive is hidden inside of, right where the pride of Smallville line is written toward the bottom. Almost called it a coat of arms, but that's not right. But we don't get to find out what it is, because as soon as they put it in the computer, automatically an earthquake starts, and here comes onomatopoeia out of nowhere, and gives them both once for. And Lana even says, this is the same noise I heard, you know, when George was killed on the phone. I think Kyle even says looked like he was killed with a shotgun, but there's no
pellets.
Same as Henry Miller. Pellets, but it looks like he was shot, buckshot or what have you. But I
bet all that stuff's on the cloud.
It's fine. Don't worry about that. Oh yeah, they uploaded that somewhere. Who uses a jump drive anymore? I mean, really. We faxed it to your office.
It was all of his crypto.
It's fine. It's
all of his Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's why she shouldn't listen to Matt Damon. But it automatically gets destroyed as she completely wrecks Lana's office as well. Is anybody else in the office on this day? Nobody? Okay. No help. I got it. No help whatsoever. As the episodes go, I thought this was a much stronger outing than the pilot, because you need the premiere. You needed the premiere, obviously, to set the deck.
Yes,
with where we're going, especially with Lois, because this was her, you know, turning point, finding out this information and telling it to Clark, and then ultimately telling the boys about it there at the end. And I loved how they did that with her, with just the audio. Kind of, you know, mirroring the beginning of the episode with the no dialogue. Just she's explaining it, and it just drowns out after Clark, you know, tells them.
And it made it more,
which I feel like they've said before. We're going to handle this as a family.
Yes, but it made it that much more powerful as I was watching it.
Yeah,
I mean, I felt a little tug.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to. And of course, they're walking in instinctively thinking they're about to get grounded, because
they're late.
It's way past sunset, and they're coming in. They were supposed to be in there before nightfall, but you know, they don't come into that. They come into some horrible news, and immediately both go and embrace their mother. Mm-hmm. As soon as they find out. So I'm sure episode 3 gives us more of Lois' story. I'm excited to watch it, just have not had a chance to yet. Like I said, it was without internet for several days, so I was behind on watching the second episode as well. So
I will say you will get a little frustrated.
Oh,
but there's good reason.
okay.
So take that and run with it.
We do get a scene with Bruno and Onomatopoeia talking as Henry Miller lay on the table yet again to be revived, and Onomatopoeia tells Mannheim that John Henry Irons is alive in Smallville because she just saw him there in the office, and Mannheim says, "But you killed him." Obviously not, or not this one. Yeah, I thought that was interesting that Onomatopoeia was the one that killed him, and not, Diggle told us that Mannheim killed him in the finale. So,
well,
interesting.
It's hard to tell who's in whose employee.
Exactly. We're not entirely sure at this moment.
And it's a little weird being the public face of a crime syndicate that only allegedly exists.
Yeah.
But maybe he's just the puppet, but I don't know.
Well, they even get that question. Superman poses that question to Mannheim, about Intergang, and he
didn't deny it.
But interested to see where that goes. Again, just two great episodes, and kind of just stark contrast to what season 2, which I thought started strongly, but just kind of just started kind of meandering there toward the end as we focused more on Lana than we did Superman and Lois and the whole Ali Alston thing, which just kind of fell apart for me.
Right up till the end.
Which I mean, they recovered. I said it on the podcast, and I'll still say it again months later. They made up for it with that finale. But it's still hard to watch a show about Superman and Lois and it not be about Superman or Lois for the most.
Not what I paid for.
So let me ask you this, and then we'll wrap up. If Mannheim's working for Onomatopoeia, if Onomatopoeia is working for Mannheim, whatever the case may be, whoever is in charge, somebody is in charge of them. Don't you agree? That's
what I feel like. I feel like that's going to be tied into our other villain reveal.
Yeah.
However, there's a chance that that's kind of like a side hustle that we're seeing. May not be tied into the full picture, maybe separate. I don't think that would be good writing if that's the case. I think it all needs to be interconnected somehow. But there's something. Man, it is so rare when I have an episode ahead of you. There's something you got to see in
fair enough.
In episode 3. That it's not that it ties to that. It's just it feels like there's way more to it than they're even letting on. Like a massive operation.
I mean, I think the natural assumption is Lex Luthor.
I would say so.
Knowing that, yes, Lex is coming to the show. Not going to be John Cryer, unfortunately. I was really hoping for that because I was hoping to see Cryer play him just straight up evil and not goofy evil, which I liked as goofy evil. It was a good kind of Hackman Rosenbaum amalgamation kind of thing he was doing, but I wanted to just see him play straight up evil Lex, because we never got to see him with Tyler, and I really wanted to see that. They literally stand in the same room in Crisis and don't even speak to each other. It infuriates that whole aspect of Crisis still infuriates me. But whatever. We do know Lex is coming to the show, played by Michael Cudlitz. If that's a spoiler at this point, I'm sorry. I don't really feel like it is. We're 3 seasons into a Superman show. Lex Luthor has to show up at some point. I'm saddens me to say, as much as I'm looking forward to Michael Cudlitz's performance and seeing a new Lex role, my good friend Brian Austin Green was asked to audition for the role, and I, much to my chagrin, did not get it. Oh, I was not happy that day. I tell you, when I found that information out,
Just have to be Metallo.
Bring him in as Metallo again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, 2 Superman shows. What are the odds? I was very excited about that, but well, such as it is, we're not getting that. But we are getting Michael Cudlitz, who has got a huge resume on shows like The Walking Dead. I remember watching him. What was that cop show we watched that he was on?
Cop show
on TNT. You and I watched it. Maybe only like one season of it, or season 2. It was him and what's his name from Gotham that played Gordon.
Oh,
Southland.
Yes.
The name of it. Okay.
Yes.
Pulled that out of nowhere.
I loved him in Band of Brothers. That's where I'm.
Oh yeah, he was in Band of Brothers too.
Big time.
He's rocking the bald look. We've seen one picture of him from Entertainment Weekly. He's bald, but he does have quite the ginger goatee going in the picture. And it looks like he might be in prison fatigues. Looks like he's in a prison jumpsuit in the picture. Not sure.
He's running
the show from inside. Yeah. Every Lex reference on this show has been extremely vague. It's just been some passing reference to a person named Lex Luthor, who we're all supposed to know who he is and who has a history with Superman, but we don't know his whereabouts. You know, for the longest time, we were just assuming because they were using him so heavily on Supergirl, and then maybe when that ended, we'd see him come into play here, which is what happened. But Cryer, and it makes me wonder because Cryer has gone on to another show, and I wonder if they would have utilized him like they.
I don't know.
Like they have.
I don't know. The only thing I could think of that they could possibly tie in as to why you haven't seen him up to this point is if he's really been just serving a sentence. You know, if it's not like you would have in an origin story where they're kind of having their sort of first clash or even their second or third clash, you know, like in Superman Returns. Mm-hmm. This has been an ongoing thing for 2 decades. Well, so maybe he finally pinned something on him that stuck.
That's one of the reasons I got so excited about Cryer. The concept of Cryer is because, and it surely would have been different here with the reveal last season that this is a different Earth, but that the Supergirl, Lex and Clark were friends. Well, the Superman, Lex and Superman. The Supergirl, Lex and Superman were friends. You know, Kara talks about how they were friends, and ultimately, you know, Lex turned on him. So it's another reason I'm just mad that I never got to see their dynamic together, because I think it would have been really interesting. And I think Cryer's Lex was the best part of Supergirl to me on a very uneven show that I gave up on and started back up again and gave up on and was kind of off and on toward the end. He, you know, and having his Otis and his Miss Tessmacher and, you know, all those things that he had fun with it. They had fun writing it for him, and he did a phenomenal job. And just the legacy casting of it too, from him being Lenny and Superman 4 is fun. But alas, it doesn't seem like we'll ever get to see that. So
only in your dreams.
Only in my dreams. But always excited to see somebody new take on a role. Obviously, we're getting a new Lex here. Soon we'll probably get a new Lex again with James Gunn's new Superman Legacy film coming. I can't imagine them not having Lex in that film. So we'll have a new Superman actor and Lex Luthor actor there. So I always like seeing what newcomers bring to establish characters from the pages of DC Comics that we've come to know and love. We've all got our favorite Lex Luthors. We've all got our favorite Loises and Clarks. And I always like being able to reshuffle my list a little bit when somebody comes in and does something new. And I like you a little bit better than I do this person, or not quite as much as I did that person, or they did this. And
you need to make trading cards.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's Magic the Gathering. I see your Rosenbaum, Luther, and I'll raise you, Hackman. So it'll
Hackman
be
+4. It'll
be interesting to see. I don't think they've said yet when he gets pulled into it, but I got to think that he's in the background of what's currently going on in some regard. Also because we're 3 episodes. I don't know if they mentioned the third one, but he gets mentioned in episode 1 and episode 2 of this season. Whereas I think he's been mentioned maybe twice on the show, not including the references to Captain Luther in the first few episodes.
Yeah, that little MacGuffin.
Yeah, that MacGuffin of John Henry Irons stealing his suit, his power suit. So thank you for joining us. You can find us online always at supermantvtalk.com. We're on all the social medias. I think Instagram is still Starkville House of L. On Twitter, it's Superman TV Talk. And you can email us from the website as well if you have anything you want to read to us. And then looking at the website now, we need to update that header because we've still got Jordan Elsass. We work to be done there. So appreciate you tuning in for 2 episodes, about 4 episodes, because Robin and Frank again did a fantastic play-by-play last week of the first 2, and then again wanted to talk about it, but didn't want to take up a whole lot of time when they had already delved into it. So I'm excited to do it with you, sir.
Absolutely.
And they covered spoilers last time, and you've already seen episode 3 probably by this point, so no point in talking about spoilers. We will just see you again when we discuss episode 3 on the show. Until then, have a good evening.
Bye, everybody.